My name is Kerry Baldwin and I teach on the undergraduate music programmes. Today's session covered different aspects of communication between musicians. I try and combine the taught sessions with practical and theoretical side. So today they were learning about how musicians communicate without speaking, how they interact with each other in an ensemble setting. So the students were analysing this and putting it into practice by working on their communication skills. Today they looked at the theoretical side first and listed elements that they felt were used regularly between musicians to communicate messages. They then analysed some clips that they watched of other musicians doing this in a performance setting, and they then recreated their own group session by practicing those skills just with a simple drum beat or simple gesture to relay those messages across without everyone being able to see each other necessarily. And it did work eventually when they got the hang of it. They also worked in groups to look at how they felt different kinds of ensembles used those skills, and each group presented the findings. I think it's important for the students to present their own work rather than just me relaying back what they've done. When they present their own work, they are able to include all the aspects that they've thought of together, and it also means that they can explain more accurately exactly what they were talking about to the other students. It also helps with their own interaction skills, and it helps with their engagement as well, and it's nice also for the listeners to listen to someone else's voice other than mine. So the group work is always very, very effective. They do seem to engage very well when they're asked to get into small groups and create something. And I use the flip charts quite a lot because then they can go off and do their own thing, and they can present something and create something. I find that because they engage really well with the practical activities, I do try and incorporate as many of those as I can into my classes. They do learn well when they're asked to find their own information or discuss things rather than just me talking at them. When I'm planning my sessions, I look at the overall content that I'm going to be using, and I think, how can this be applied in a practical manner? So, for example, rather than just discussing something, I'll give them some paper and say, can you write all this down and present it back? So it's something that could have been done as me just talking, or it can be done with them investigating, which I think they find that a lot more inspiring. So I try and incorporate that as much as I can. And as these are musicians, they want to do practical work. They want to be involved, and they want to play instruments, even if it does involve a load of drums in a trolley. They do want to use these things, and they do want to practice their art. So it makes sense to incorporate actual music into the sessions as much as possible. So although there's a lot of theory involved with the music, it's good to have actual music in the music class. I guess with creative teaching, it's about getting the right balance between the practical and the theoretical, and ways that you can use practice to back up what you have learned. So, for example, today, the musicians have all used communication skills themselves before, but today we really analysed them in more detail, and they practiced using those communication skills. They talked about it, they looked at the theory behind it and how it works, and then they applied that into a more practical setting. So it's providing the right balance between the two, and then applying what you've learned theoretically back into the practical side again. They engage really well with the interactive sessions, and they do seem to learn very well and get more enthusiastic about it.
I enjoyed how interactive it was. Being able to sort of like move away from the seats and being able to come and sort of like sit down here and work on something as a big group and then discuss it, so have it all up on the board, so it makes it a lot more visual.
I think the balance between the practical side of it and the more theoretical side of it was quite good, because I think it gives a good, well-rounded teaching experience.
It gives you the chance to socialise first and foremost. Yeah, it gives you a chance to get to know the people in your class, and also it helps purely from the sake of having friendly criticism, because it opens you up to different points of view, which can in turn make you very reflective on what you think.
I think a lot of people learn better when it's more interactive, and like for me personally, I wouldn't have sort of thought about it nearly as much if I was just sat down and just taking notes. So getting up and doing stuff makes it a lot more enjoyable, and I think it sticks in a lot more.
You can find more films and podcasts on our website. Go to celt.mmu.ac.uk/good practice. Thanks for watching.